Ceros, who is the Japanese mid laner, extremely strong. I think you can even ban him out right now.
What did you make of the Cassio
and the Ezreal?
Maybe hopefully to help
with the
him out.
flashes,
Well,
maybe.
I do think the players are ready for our first match. Carbon versus White Lotus, so we're going to get into that one.
Thank you very much. As we are changing things up a bit as we get into the 1v1 portion of the final day. My name is Julian Patient Time Guy. Joining me again is James Stress O'Leary and Jacob Yamato Kenneth Mebdi, 1v1 champion in one game. You know, good matchup.
I do think
He's joining
the
us
players
as
are
well.
ready for our first match. Carbon versus White Lotus, so we're going to get into that one.
Well, I have to say, I've got to the interesting part of this tournament, because like they were saying on the desk, there are so many sweet matchups here, and there's just so much going on as far as the players, the strategies, the metagame. It's all really developing.
It is, but there are some consistent things that we've had. We've had a lot of Kindred bans, obviously the Nunu that we've had time and time again, these strong, big name picks. I'm interested in this first one, White Lotus and Carbon, because I'm going to invoke the wrath of the crowd again. Carbon has somehow managed to stumble his way through 2 1v1 games and found himself in this spot to get extra points. I really don't know how it's happened, but we'll see again.
I think you put it very, very correctly. He played the cannon against the Heimerdinger, and that was not a skilled matchup. That looked very, very funny because there were players missing skill shots, and it was just hilarious overall. And then there's the Nunu, which I expect to get banned in this particular game.
I think so as well, just given how, yeah, I mean, how interestingly Carbon's played. He even said in the interview with the Nunu, I just went to a pick because it was comfortable, you know, I didn't want to, I was like, you know what, I'm playing Kami, he's a really good mid laner, even though Kami himself says he's not that good at 1v1s when we interviewed him after his first few games, but like, Carbon knows Nunu, so he's like, whatever, we'll do it. He has stumbled his way here, I agree, but it does not like he can, you know, if he keeps it up, very lucky days ago, you just keep going.
I don't know how it happens. So it's just like, when you win and you just don't know how you've won, it's just like, got it. Nice. Completely, I want to say luck, but I'm just going a little bit ham. But it's mainly because like I played half of those matchups against Pulse, and maybe it's just that I'm considerably worse than Pulse, which I think is actually the thing. But the theory of a Heimerdinger actually makes him really strong in a 1v1. As soon as you get to level 6, get that first back, you just put turrets down. You have so many turrets, and they can never get past the turret line.
I'm really happy that you brought up Heimerdinger, because the one game we saw Heimerdinger being picked, it's so important that you get on the map and put your turrets down instantly. But instead, he danced in base.
Maybe not the best level 1 strategy, no. I believe that was the translation.
Pretty much.
But again, we're going to get into champ select here. Blind draft, of course. Kindred Caitlyn banned away. Nunu first ban by White Lotus. No more of your cheese, Carbon.
He knew what was coming. He absolutely knew that was going to be a factor. I'm waiting for somebody to pick up the AD Anivia. You've been talking about the LeBlanc, the Orianna, Anivia with the Rebirth passive AD. It's so strong, so disgusting. She just then keeps farming. I actually believe I saw Crepo beat Pulse with it in an office 1v1. Very, very strong. Nobody's picked it up yet. Well, I'm a little disappointed.
Misfortune there as well. With LeBlanc banned away by White Lotus. So Carbon's ban's completed, and White Lotus has one more left. Seen a lot of AD carries banned, understandably, especially given how many AD carry players are left in the tournament, but it will be Annie coming in again. And Carbon, who is also known for his Nunu, this is the other champion he's known for, and look at that smile.
White Lotus has played Draven in the past, and Draven is such a strong menace in the 1v1.
Oh!
Whoa!
He is going to go for the Teemo.
Well, this didn't work out so well the last time we saw Teemo. I mean, one of the problems is if you go AP, yes, you'll get the burst off the Q, but the actual consistent damage really suffers from it. Yamato, you've been a big proponent. The Doran's Ring is not the way to go on Snowdown Showdown.
It's just on some champions. Like on Cassiopeia, it makes sense. The mana region helps you out. But if it's all about the all-in and it's all about the push, go for the Doran's Blade. And I remember the last time we saw the Teemo, it made a lot of sense, but in-game, it was very, very weak.
Well, we did see White Lotus kind of flick through Heimerdinger, which would have been probably not very good for Teemo with the Yordle battle, but Kalista instead actually could be okay here, depending on how Carbon wants to play their Teemo. You kind of get the theory in your head. Teemo versus an AD carry feels like it should be good on paper, but hard to say exactly how it's going to work out.
I feel like there's two kind of things that kind of decide these 1v1 matchups. Mechanical skill and the thing we like to call mind games. In this particular game, he's playing against an AD carry. Why not just pick the Teemo, you have the blind, you can almost guarantee that White Lotus is going to pick an AD carry.
Yep, absolutely, and he has gone with Kalista, who's been a surprisingly popular pick actually in the AD carry role. Draven was available, he thought about it, but he went with Kalista instead. And it's so weird to see Kalista in a 1 vs 1 when literally 2 of her abilities don't do anything without a second person. But the Kalista players, especially G4, actually have made it work.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, the mobility, the ability to jump backwards. She has a lot of damage in her kit, and you can't really overlook the rend. As soon as you trade for more than a couple of seconds, Kalista just ends up taking over. I did take a look at Carbon's Runes and Masteries.
What are we in for?
He's got a good amount of AP with some AD and attack speed, going pretty much hybrid Teemo right here. So, and a fair amount of sustain. Grasp of the Undying, I believe, is his keystone mastery.
And that mastery has been very popular on this map, I have to say. I think I've seen more Grasp of the Undying champions than I ever thought I would in a 1v1.
I loved also the choice of flat health masteries on both sides here because they are so cost efficient in the early game because sure, armor helps out, but like unless you have higher amounts of armor, it doesn't really make a difference.
And again, these games do not last particularly long. I think the longest one we had was around the 11 or 12 minute mark, and that was, I think, the 100 CS game we went to. So, yeah, generally pretty short. Carbon got a record kill, I believe, yesterday on Nunu, slaying Kami in about 1:30. So we'll see just how quickly this game will be. As you can see, Carbon is hanging out in stealth on the Teemo. See what these players want to do as the waves start to crash into each other.
And that's another thing, is like Kalista, 2 abilities that you can't use. Carbon at the beginning of the game has his passive as well. He can just sit around wherever he wants as long as he's first out, not in vision. But in early trades right now, White Lotus did already clip him, and he is pushing the wave a little already. You can see the rend comes out, gives him the advantage, looks for that extra experience for level 2.
Very important that Carbon watches out, like for the stacks of rend on the minions as well, because what White Lotus wants to do is hit rends on Carbon while he finishes a minion. So he gets back the mana, gets back the cooldown as well.
Of course, can get all those spears in as well potentially, so Carbon has to be careful, especially at level 2. Pierce combo is going to start to come out also. But Carbon going to be level 2 relatively soon.
First CS.
I don't think Carbon's winning this one on CS. I'm going to put... In fact, I don't think Carbon will win any 1v1 on CS. No. The curse of the trumpeters.
Oh dear. At this point, I'm wondering, how long does this game go for Carbon? Does he wait till past 6 and just try and trap up the bushes?
Whoa! Let's get the blind. Bit of damage there as well. Again, you can see their theory here. Carbon's Teemo does stack up well in small cooldown windows against Kalista.
Something that we've seen with a lot of jungle players in this 1v1 tournament is the fact that their wave control is very, very poor.
Could be White Lotus going to go in for it. All the summoner spells are down. Grasp of the Undying does trigger. Rend is there. Needs to move in for it. Gets the pierce. Massive Rend. Takes a tower shot. And there's the health relic. Carbon actually might be able to go in for this. Needs the blind. Does get a dash. Damage is good. Oh, he didn't ignite. I don't think he was in range.
Oh.
Carbon again. Almost does it.
Nearly, but he's still got the ignite. He's still got the ignite, has Grasp of the Undying, and has the masteries for extra spell vamp and lifesteal. So give him a little time here, and Carbon may be okay. Cannot really afford. Watch for the Q.
White Lotus very cleverly used vision there. Carbon is going to be forced back. He had a good window there to try and win, but White Lotus, too much health now, level 4 as well. Carbon is going to have to make a recall. Boots? Nope, solves them. There we go. Long still.
Even though we see that the window of opportunity for Teemo here is the fact that he has the ignite, but White Lotus has so much more gold than he has, so as soon as he bases here, he's going to have a bunch of items.
Going to get a recall in now as well. Shoves that wave into turret. 25 to 5 CS for the record. That's pretty far out of Carbon's reach at this point. He's going to be looking for some sort of all-in. Does have 2 points in Toxic Shot. So he's going to be looking for maximum damage. I don't know if there's a level 6 spike for Teemo. Maybe Carbon's going to try and wait in the next few levels to try and kill White Lotus.
Well, I mean, the level 6 now, it looks towards what Carbon wants to do is, does he trap up the bushes? And to that effect, does White Lotus look to change up his trinket? I believe sweepers are available at this point, so if you can just sweeper, yes, you give up brush control. Maybe that's where you start using the sentinels. Sentinel the brush, sweeper out the Teemo mushrooms.
Carbon actually doesn't get rendered there. This might be it again. Does have the ignite ready to go. Carbon takes a few too many spears. Rend does get used, but the relic's there for White Lotus.
He knows. He knows. They both know.
Level 5's actually a good spike here. Biting Ducker coming. Carbon needs to go in for, but he's not in the ignite range. Just pop it down. Is it going to be enough to damage White Lotus? He's so low. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
The Ada Pierce. 15 health.
And a turret shot.
The one-man spear comes in to decimate Carbon.
Oh.
Oh,
Carbon's ChuZ almost pulls it out again. You can see White Lotus, the players shake hands, having a bit of a giggle. Carbon, he knows what he's done. It was so close.
I think you should be proud of that.
I think so
it was
too.
a stellar performance. I expected less, if I'm going to be honest, because Nunu doesn't really require a lot, but the Timo, he played it out correct, had that window opportunity that we talked about, the Ignite, went for it, and it was so close.
It's the reverse of everything that's happened to Carbon up until this point. This was like the coast of 1v1s. Carbon was winning up until the point that he lost. And in every other game, he was losing up until the point that he wins. But, you know, he had a great showing and a fun 1v1. Why run into this turret? Why?
I don't know, man. Jungler tunnel vision, perhaps. He smelled the dive. He's like, wait, I'm not playing Lee Sin. This is difficult.
Wants to give away double buffs. Classic junglers.
He's like, it's fine. I'll spawn later. My mid lane will yell at me. It'll be okay. Oh, it's over. Oh, well.
Oh, dear.
A sad ending for the Oceanic crowd, of course, but very strong performance by both players there. Down to the wire, pretty much. And a key mistake there from Carbon cost him another potential 1v1 round.
Now, next game coming up is Seiya versus G4. Yesterday, Seiya brought up the Twitch we saw. I wonder whether he'll go for that again. I think every one of us was like, Twitch isn't going to win this. Like, Twitch is just not a good pick right here. And somehow, some way, he managed to make it work. But he's against G4. We're all expecting Zed. Where is it? Where is it, Yamato?
I just want the Z to received a bunch of buffs to his damage. It is very obnoxious to play against Zed right now.
And again, both mid lane players here as well, so we've had a lot of AD carries and mid laners do well in the tournament. Carbon, I believe, bows out the only jungler in the top 8 after that loss. But Seiya vs G4 will line it up. Lulu Kindred, the first few bans here. We've seen strong mechanical play from both these players, both in the 5v5 and the 1v1 tournament. This could be an excellent 1v1 here. We'll see what else they want to ban away. I'm expecting a Kalista ban, honestly. G4 has played quite a lot of Kalista in this tournament.
I feel like this game is so much about pride. The mid laners heading against each other. I feel like the trend overall in this tournament has been these superstar mid laners we've been talking about all the time.
The other side of that, though, is we could end up with like an Anivia versus a Cassiopeia, and they're just like, I'm just going to farm and prove to you that I can beat you to 100 farm. No Raptor camps or anything to kind of assist on this one, so mid laners have just got the minions in the lane.
I really hope there's no 100 CS race gentleman's agreement.
Oh, well, it's Caitlyn. That's one kind of aspect that is now gone.
Is that like the Froganoff, basically? That's pretty much what that sounds like to me. Hope we don't get that.
There are no Wraiths to be killed, sadly.
Well, Caitlyn there. Also banned out LeBlanc as well on that Seiya's side, and he's going to have one final ban here. I find bans so interesting in this format, because it's blind pick. So it's like, what do I don't want them to have? And getting last ban is like, well, I kind of you have a lot of like influence over what happens, right?
Yeah, you do. And at this point, Nunu's still up. That's a big influential pick right now. We saw some Urgot, that's still available. Kalista, still available. A lot of big picks here that either could pick up.
Looking at Seiya's bans though, LeBlanc and Cassiopeia are two picks that are rather weak into the Nunu. So it doesn't feel like he is going for the Nunu just yet.
Well, there is actually Kalista banned by G4. Curious to see where these players go. This would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. The wind wall mechanics. It's all about the wind wall mechanics, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sold on the Ezreal in this kind of format.
It's not a good matchup for Ezreal.
There's not exactly too much room to fit skill shots around the minions, so Mystic Shot kind of doesn't offer too much other than farm.
All right, we'll say it's locked in.
Annie's available. G4 just ticked over it as well.
Yep, so, I mean, there is Varus for Seiya. We did see Ceros play this quite successfully, actually, winning a pretty awesome 1v1 there. But G4 is just, I feel like he's just going through all the champions he likes.
He's hovering the Jax. He's going for the spawn strategy.
Are you serious?
No!
Karthus!
Speaking of Froggen.
We're going to 100, boys. This is the 100 or the level 6 all in.
But to be fair, I feel like the Karthus, something in the past that we've seen a lot, the Karthus players that run Ignite, they just go for the level 1 all in because it's all about landing those Qs. If you land the Qs, Karthus is one of the strongest level 1 champions in the game. But keep in mind, I said land the Qs, which is very difficult.
Get them Skittles. Skittle them down. But
yeah. I mean, with no flashes, it's actually kind of genius. If G4 does go for the level 1 cheese, man, can you imagine his like red trinket just walks into the brush, sweeps it, it's like, let's go, I'm ready.
Just the only problem is though, he has to now walk up on Varus and exhaust him early. And the thing is that exhaust Karthus is so good later into the game because you have the exhaust while Defile is running. At level 1, it's literally just to assist those Skittles. So he shouldn't miss them. But we'll see. We'll see. He's playing Grim Reaper Karthus as well. So clearly we'll see if he's decided that Seiya's name is the next on his list.
Maybe. I also like the potential just passive kill for Karthus. I believe that if you get a kill in your passive when you die, you will get credit for first blood.
I'm trying to like think of the actual timing on that. I believe you're...
You know what? We might find out this game.
We might find out.
How about that?
I think it counts as a death.
I think it does too.
It's called Death Defy. That's an awful passive name.
Right, but I mean, we have to have like technicalities.
Sure.
I mean, I know there's life and death, but sometimes there have to be rules, pastry.
Well, G4 vs Seiya, as I do move out, is going to have some fun emoting.
It's all about the lady saying first blood.
As I keep for the 1-1. Oh my god.
So like the dynamic of this matchup is Varus wants to stay away from the Karthus, keep poking from a far distance, and the Karthus wants that all in. So it's all about G4 whenever he tries to push for the trigger.
I mean, we have heard from Stress again that it could be it's either that or the opposite.
It's either that or nothing is going to happen.
Well, I have to see here. They are actually going to just keep it very safe here. Level 1. You can see the backline getting pushed down. Karthus will push quickly, so if there is a level 2 spike for Karthus, he's going to hit it pretty swiftly, as you can see the E skilled up first there for Seiya. Those creep waves are just melting to the Karthus queue.
So quick at pushing through that backline. I mean, so little mana as well, and you end up getting some of it back in a bit. The thing is, I wonder, G4, I mean, he's surely not going to go like the tier route. We saw people trying tier in yesterday's games, if I remember rightly, on the Cassiopeia just to get extra mana. I don't really think it's all that viable.
Seiya, by the way.
Seiya made that level 2 first.
Certainly did, has a ton of magic resist as well. He's pretty much going for the Ceros strat. That grasp the Undying Karthus. Did I just see that? Oh no.
I guess it's thematic.
Yes, maybe it was Seiya that actually using it there. Again, a very popular Keystone Mastery in the 1v1s, but right now, everyone's just chilling out. Maybe it's waiting for the level 6 for either of these champions, but right now, G4 on the farm train, but Seiya keeping up nicely with the Varus.
Like the problem now that it will appear for the Karthus is that he has very high mana costs. Sure, the Defile gives him some mana back, but if he tries to Q for Seiya, then he's going to run out of mana.
He will. He will. I mean, the early onset, it is pretty low, and once he gets those relics, we'll be okay. Look, that's just worth.
Yeah.
That's just worth. As soon as Varus is trying to run to you. Also, one of the things about Varus in general that may favor this matchup against Karthus is Varus ult. The best way of using that generally is kiting back and throwing it out and then engaging. And if a Karthus has to walk at you to get any damage done, that should be a fairly easy ult to hit, considering there's no flash, considering Karthus is pretty much one of the least mobile champions in League of Legends. I mean, it should be okay for Seiya if he can turn around and look to all in.
See the CS just mounting now. G4, if he was on the CS plan, he might have to switch tactics now, because Seiya is not taking very much damage from his Qs. He's cleverly standing in the minion wave for the most part. And he's already doubled the CS pretty much here of G4. This wave crashing into turret's not going to make it any easier.
Even though Karthus is known for being like a farm bot, in this particular matchup you have the Doran's Blade on the Varus. He has the longer range poke, so the long sustain game, Varus is going to come up ahead as well.
I mean, also take into account that Karthus' actual base AD sucks, so you have to watch G4 trying to farm under the turret. As soon as the minions are kind of arranged in a line and there's no kind of huddle, that's when you can CS very effectively with the Q, because it does increase damage to single targets. But if you can't get those single targets, you've got to kind of try and hedge your bets on whether you're going to be able to get it, because it does so little damage if you start hitting 2 or 3 minions in that wave.
Seiya's going to deny that relic there as well. So G4 is actually going to get forced back here by the looks of things. Q might cancel, it does. Oh! Just short there is the double Doran's ring now for G4. Got a Ruby Crystal there as well, so he's going quite tanky in the early stages.
It's all about the cost efficiency. I as well bought the Ruby Crystal yesterday. Sure, I went with the Giants, but on Caitlyn. Might seem weird, but if you have 400 gold and you can't really opt in for, if you want the defensive stats, Ruby Crystal is the most efficient buy.
Certainly is, and he'll return. We'll see what Seiya wants to buy. Actually, looks like the Hex Drinker rush potentially with the Null Magic Mantle and the Longsword. Seen double Durans be very common. As the second Durans did have enough money. That's a big spike for Seiya.
That is a lot of damage that's going to come out. You can see already the Qs, the arrows just dealing so much damage to G4. G4 wants to try and kind of, camp this Relic, but the problem is he's going to take damage if he tries to go for it. He's waiting for Seiya just to try and pressure him out. But I think this trade actually is going to go for Seiya because G4 got nothing but the presence from that. And keep in mind that Seiya had just recalled, so it's not like he's looking to pick that up right now. By the time it respawns again, I don't think it's actually going to have that much of an effect. Luckily, it was only one auto that G4 ended up taking, so it's all good.
It's difficult as well, because he kind of wants him to be isolated just like that,
yep.
So he can do damage. But that means he has to hold the creep wave, which is awkward, because he would like to win on CS as well, but he's already behind. So kind of an interesting situation developing in this 1v1. Seiya looking very comfortable on the Varus. We'll see what G4 can get done, because an all-in could be pretty spectacular, but both level 6 now. Like you mentioned, Stress, I think that's going to start to favor the Varus.
He can just keep his distance. As long as Seiya plays the patient game, I don't see G4 being able to do much. G4 needs to start to be kind of active. He needs to get in there, try to land those Qs, go for the aggressive plays, because in the long run, he's going to lose.
The problem for G4 is he's able to take away the backline and now force the minions in against Seiya's turret. Thing is, Varus is pretty good at farming out of the turret. Yes, there is a difference between this and Summoner's Rift for how much damage the turret actually deals. But the fact that G4's already behind on CS does make this difficult. He's now kind of, as you can see, just taking away the range minions, shoving it in. Now wants to go aggressive.
Good wall, actually going for the Relic, might be too much. Seiya actually kiting well, does get the Relic, and Exhaust is down. Seiya going to come in with the damage, Exhaust lands G4, trying to kite it out. And he will be okay. Seiya's going to try and land up. I don't know if it's enough damage.
Close.
The W passive also just wore off. So if it had hit him, I think he would have been okay. But Seiya's already ahead of him, and it's G4 forced back again.
Forced back again, but G4, you could see what he was trying to do against Seiya there. The Ignite plus the Requiem that's going to come from G4 right now. Keep in mind, Requiem is going to be dealing, before resistances, about 285 damage, just beneath that. So that is a fair amount to actually deal, plus the Ignite. So if he can get Seiya to around that 400 health mark, hit the Ignite, then pop the ultimate, should be a kill. But obviously G4 needs to create some space because Seiya will just try and throw as much as he possibly can during the Requiem channel.
And on top of the Requiem, the one thing that G4 has got going on for him is also the Ignite. He has the Ignite as an advantage, but on the other side we have the Hex Drinker ready, which is such a powerful item in these 1v1s.
Oh, could be it, Seiya. Gonna get aggressive on great poke. You can see the Thunderlord's Decree helping out as well. This might be G4's window.
Maybe. I actually feel pretty confident now. G4 seems to have stabilized, has the Catalyst, the Protector, so that's going to help him as the more he starts to level up. As long as he can maintain control of his Relic and continue to push Seiya in, he should be okay. I actually think he can come back in this game.
It's going to be minions that will have to try and catch up on, but doing a nice job holding away his wall out again. Seiya has to dodge one. This is the first. Will not dodge out of the second, I believe, but he's very tanky.
Love the choice of Catalyst.
Yes.
Like, it might seem weird, but Catalyst also, we were talking about the sustain game.
Yep.
Makes sense. There you go.
The other thing is that G4 actually has a really good spike at level 11. But I don't think he's going to get there. A lot of these global ultis have a fairly weak rank 1 and a strong rank 2 and 3. So G4 will be much better served using his ulti if he hits 11, but at this rate with the CS going how it is, that's just not going to happen, unfortunately.
The problem for G4 in this situation is if you were playing any other champion that were able to shove Varus up, he'd be able to deal tower damage. Not really going to happen on a this.
Seiya, great jukes here as well. Q's going to land in, grabs does trigger, he's dodging everything pretty much. Does have the ulti, might use it, goes in, ulti out, G4 in trouble, the damage is down, is this going to be a kill? It is, first blood!
And science has proven that the Cardinals passive is used as an
brought it out, but you know, if the Cassiopeia comes through, I would be so happy to see something like that happen.
Right off the bat, we have a Cassiopeia ban.
Never mind, we are into the draft now. Cassio, I'm sorry, we'll have to wait for Power of Evil mechanics later, but I'm not surprised that that is the player that showed you that particular interaction. Ceros does ban Caitlyn. Again, continuing with the theme here. Varus, I think, actually a strong ban after 2 good games by both Ceros once and, of course, Seiya just in our last game. 14 seconds for Ceros to ban this out, though. It is going to be Kindred, and Brand instantly banned. Optimus has a plan, it seems like. Has already picked his bans very, very, very fast, in fact.
So the one champion Optimus has played in the past that is not banned so far is Draven. Is he going to opt in for the Draven once again? Probably, because he did a lot of work.
Certainly did. And Draven, pretty potent 1v1 champion. That is the Urgot ban, actually. It does leave open the Draven now and maybe take away a potential counter if Ceros was hoping to mind game him and take Urgot into Draven. Oh my god.
Is this it? Is it time?
It may well be. Ceros does get a lot of Zillion bans in regular 5v5 games.
And it has stuns. We were talking to a bunch of the players yesterday, and they're like, anything that has a stun that you can land is very effective in a 1v1. So Ceros has showed us that he's very, very good on the Zillion. I don't know how strong it is in the 1v1. I guess at level 6, that is a level 6 that would work.
Yes.
Because it doesn't count as a kill. So that is, you know, a regenerative ability. Could go for that.
Could.
And it's just to draw some contrast between the Summoner's Rift Zillion that we've seen in the past. The problem with Zillion is its high mana cost. You have to buy the tier, and then you need to go for the Athenes. And you can't really buy those items in 1v1.
I mean, long attack range. Can just throw watches at people the entire game long.
There's some sweet base AD. As we do see the lock-ins now, Optimus and Ceros have locked in Lucian and Lulu here for this one. So Lucian, a pick we've seen quite a lot of. Very strong AD carry 2v2. Very strong 1v1, of course, as well. And Lulu's kind of an interesting pick. We've seen it, I think, at least once with mixed results, I want to say.
I just remember the game against Nami, and it depresses me, that particular game.
Just grab a Doran's Blade, use picks, just smash people in the early game with that extra auto-attack damage. But we'll see. I probably isn't quite the same as Lucian's with the double tap. Like Q into 2 hits probably does a little bit more than Doran's Blade Lulu. So that might already be lost at the level 1 before where it actually gets there.
We'll have to find out. Let's see the players there on stage. Yeah, we actually have some curious summoner choices for both of these players. Optimus has Flash and Exhaust. And Ceros has gone for Heal and Ignite.
Feels like Ceros just looked on the opponent's screen or something. He just knew Optimus was not going for the Ignite, and now he has a heal that is going to be 100% effective every time, unless we see the comeback of Execution in his calling.
And all of his shields and his ultimate available. So basically, Optimus has to somehow burn the ult, burn the heal, and get enough damage to get a kill. I think Optimus actually has to go in very early in this game, or he probably just loses to shields and heals. And oh, he's got an advantage right now. That's no items for Ceros. I feel like this is the second time this has happened.
Yes, and it might just be to rush out of the base and place a ward, because he did have a trinket, but he didn't even beat him there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is he didn't even win that race. That's not effective.
It's like, even though you get the information that Lucian buys a Doran's Blade, ooh,
that's true.
Wow, amazing. But now he loses the positioning on the wave, and Optimus gets to push instantly.
Oh, look at that wave. Got absolutely chunked by Piercing Light. And Optimus going to get the first early lead here on the Lucian. Ceros, though, does have E level 1, in fact, so fairly defensive start, not even with the Glitterlands. It might just be a CS game here, and it's pretty tricky to CS on Lulu, especially when the wave's going to start crashing into the turret so early here. Oh, okay, sorry, he's AD, I guess, so that would make a bit more sense, but going to lose those early advantages.
I'm not so sold on trying to go for the farm game on a Lulu right now. Well, I guess you've got the ult, you've got the shield, so in theory you can almost never die, but you've already given the lead over to Optimus just by not buying.
Yeah, you can see he's going to hit level 2. Optimus did get some poke down, but the shield doing a lot of work to keep Ceros safe. Glitterlance now skilled up, but probably going to have to use it to trim this minion wave as that Piercing Light goes a little wide. Grasp the Undying again. Very popular Keystone Mastery onto the Lucian. These AD carries, I just feel like they get every option available to them. You can all in, you can sustain, and you can get the tower. You've got all 3 win conditions covered.
Yeah, it's very, very effective. I mean, we even saw the Grasp of the Undying Gangplank that came out from Archie that was so annoying to deal with. But, you know, I guess it makes sense. Yes, you can take offensive masteries, but in this game type, when you kind of get the idea of when the lead is going to come from, just from the summoners and the actual just damage overall from the itemization, I actually like Grasp of the Undying. Gets you through the early game, gets you a little bit closer to those items, and then champion like Lucian should be able to output a lot more damage.
It's like the biggest reason why we see all these crazy builds is because you want to go for the maximum efficient, like maximum efficiency possible. You go for tanky builds. You saw the tank caster player yesterday, and it worked.
Oh, Ceros actually has a really nice little lead. Actually does have the CS lead, although Optimus will catch up as this wave crashes in, but Ceros actually somehow zoned him out, got ahead on experience, and is now potentially poking him under the tower. Really nice Lulu play here. Optimus actually sitting at 50% health, not looking too good right now.
Keep an eye on the number of minions, though, that are pushing in towards Optimus. So it's very deceptive. It looked like Ceros had the lead on that one, but you can see that Ceros actually didn't get too many more of that CS, and now it's Optimus turning this one back right. He does have the lead on the health, though, however. And Optimus, yes, he's running double defensive summoners. I guess Exhaust has been used offensively a lot more in this tournament, but Ceros certainly isn't in too bad of a spot, but the farm game is slightly in Optimus' favor.
I feel like definitely, like as we approach the level 6 mark, we're going to see the Lulu, and of course the Lucian note. It is very easy for Lulu to interrupt it. You have the Polar Morph, you have the Wild Growth as well, and then on top of that, Ceros has the summon advantage.
Ooh, gets the relic. Nice steal there from Ceros. We're going to eat a lot of damage for it. Level 5 though, now Grasp of the Undying keeps Optimus somewhat healthy. Well, Lucian's mana pool actually going to cause him some problems here, especially in the earlier levels. Ceros has somehow actually, I'm going to say, reset this game. He might not be ahead, but he's sort of stabilized it.
It's in a good spot for him, because he's now getting close to that level 6 point, and with the heal, with the ult, with the shields, there's really no way that Optimus can actually go all in and get a kill once they reach that point. I mean, Optimus may somehow find that opening against Ceros, but I don't think it exists when you look at it just on paper.
And it's also on top of that, like, I really love these players that go for the hybrid champions. I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, Ceros just uses heal, just like randomly.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he wants to maintain the health lead. Is Ceros going to go all in at level 6 so that he has his ultimate available as well? I mean, still not very effective to use it now. Better to just bait Optimus into using it.
Could have also just been a mistake.
Unless, here we go. It's the long con. It's the long con, guys.
Press D to dance.
Use it outside of vision so he doesn't know you used it, and now you have a different timing.
But then again, you just click the Lulu, the only champion in the game, and you see the heal buff that reduces the incoming healings from other summoners as well.
But is it the same icon as the Relic? No. Okay, Relic doesn't show an icon on you. So, yeah.
I think it was one of those press D to dance.
Yep, I think so too.
We talk about mind games. That is also a mind game you can apply.
Well, we are going to have recalls here now. Double Doran's double longsword potion there for Optimus. Pretty standard stuff. And a Doran's ring actually for Ceros. And 2 amp terms, so did start with the Doran's blade for the early levels, but has now gone the AP route. Going to be doing quite a bit of damage. That level 3 Glitter Lance currently, and of course has the ulti as well. But Optimus is going to take this relic away. No, just going to leave it for now. Oh, never mind. Tricks me again and takes it.
It's like the beauty of these AP champions built AD is the fact that they have mixed damage.
Yep.
You're not going to see the Hex Trigger coming in, you're not going to see any armor items coming in, the cost-efficient ones, and that is probably the best aspect about these AP champions.
Some damage there, as you can see. Just trading with some of their spells. Now that the waves have equalized, pretty much even on CS. So no one's got a lead right now, but again, Ceros has brought it back. Slightly behind in experience, but we'll hit 7 now. You can see 50 minutes reached by Ceros. Good culling up against the wall there. Ceros eats a lot of damage as a result of that.
Still is okay, though. He's now got a significant CS lead when you look at it.
In a 1v1, yes.
Yeah, in a 1v1. It's like 5, but that means, you know, it's just under 1 whole wave, so we're good, we're good. But Ceros, you know, every time he uses health picks onto Optimus, there is a slight opening that Optimus can use to trade damage, and Optimus actually can burn through the shield right now, so as long as he doesn't take too much damage in response, look at Ceros' mana. That's one of the key factors. Because he's now itemizing AP, he can only use the shield and can't really output that much damage in response. But Optimus, same situation. Very low mana.
Ooh, good relic timing.
Too much.
Ceros picks it up. Don't think he quite knew that timer, so does appear at the right spot. Optimus does have one to fall back to as well.
You should just go for the Alden right now.
That's what I'm thinking, but maybe too many creeps. And the tower actually could be a real threat as well. I think Ceros is convincing a win on CS, but maybe not on turrets.
That glitter lance completely just turned that around. Optimus was thinking about going in, thinking about pushing up to the wave, but getting clipped by that, too much damage. And you can see Ceros now getting the mana back, had the relic, has the Doran's ring as well. So just constantly getting the mana replenished, and it makes it so difficult. Optimus, every time he tries to trade, oh, another glitter lance.
It's all about the small things in this 1v1. It's very, very close. It's going back and forth. You got to push on one side, and you got to push on the other side. Whoever's pushing is going to eventually win this game.
Yeah, well, Optimus actually goes back again, I think. Yeah, completes that recall. Ceros, can I get the wave? Oh, yes, does want to push in again.
Whoa.
I think he probably thought about that. He's like, I need to push another wave in here. This is going to give Lucian a few more CS, but he's very far ahead on CS now.
Yamato, you talked about the mixed damage. Hex Drinker has come out, so we'll get a shield extra, but that is a bit of the, you know, the actual economy of Optimus has gone into magic resist when Lulu is still dealing a fair amount of AD at this point, with the Sheen as well now. That's extra on hit that is coming from Ceros right now. That is bonus physical damage.
And it's the perfect itemization.
Yeah.
Completely agree with the Sheen, simply because you get the mana. We've seen Ceros has had a lot of mana issues. And on top of that, it's very easy to time the Hex Drinker proc with your abilities. You can proc it with your magic damage. You can kind of ignore the shields between your cooldowns.
See now, these minions are very important under the turret. Ceros, he's going to get quite a lot of them. Optimus, though, gets polymorph. Smart play there from Ceros.
That's a lot of damage, though.
Oh, that hurts a lot. Ceros level 9 now. I think he's trying to win on CS, but this is going to be very tight. Optimus! I think he had a window there to go all in. Ceros does have his heal back, by the way. This is starting to get really tight.
And the problem here is Optimus just isn't helped in almost any situation by his summoners.
He'll like to burn it down, but Ceros actually does massive damage. And there's the heal again. His opponent doesn't have Ignite, so he's just burning it.
I mean, the only real way these summoners are going to benefit Optimus now is just exhausting Ceros and maybe going for the tower. Because I still don't think he can go through the wild growth, especially not with an Ignite.
Oh, Ignite's down. Ceros might be looking for, and that might just be, even if it doesn't kill him, Optimus getting low, he will live, but Ceros,
that's going to be it.
He's got so much of a CS lead now.
Well, keep in mind, Optimus, though, has the advantage in one thing only, and that is his summoner spells. Has the flash, has the exhaust. Now the tables have turned. He has to go for the all-in.
This is getting really tight. 80 CS to 90 with Ceros' tower quite low. He actually goes back, gets another amp tome. I think it's just all about shoving the waves now.
He's very well learned right now. He's just, I'm going to read how to do this 1 versus 1. He's read the theory of 1 versus 1. Just take a champion that never dies, and then you'll be fine. Just push it through. I really don't see how Optimus wins this. The ultimate's still available for Ceros. The only way Optimus can do it is somehow pushing up to the turret and avoiding all of the damage, but he can't do it. Look at it.
He's not winning this all in. Ceros actually just completely bodying him here, and Optimus, he has to try something, but Ceros might even just kill him here. Damage is down, picks, Glitter Lance lands again, dodges that Q. He's trying to catch up on CS, it's getting close, but Ceros only needs 9 more minions, and that's pretty much all of them almost. Optimus is trying to be annoying at this point, I think. Oh my god, those minions went shredded. 2 left, he has to go in, he gets poly. You might be close. Culling is down. Wild Breath is there though. Ceros does pop it. Optimus gonna try and make it work. He flashes in. He wants it. One more.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Beautiful. Oh.
All Ceros had to do was wait.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue.
Certainly is, Yamato.
Today we learned. Oh.
I am amazed that Optimus had enough to outtrade Ceros with the exhaust, with the ult running, with the shields, with everything that Ceros had right now. Good timing, and just every single time Optimus throughout the culling, he was doing so much damage to Ceros that, man, that was an unexpected result, being 98 CS. It was so close.
And it's also, speaking of this particular matchup, Lulu has so many
just very straightforward wins. I even had a quick chat to him yesterday, and he just said, you know what? The brand game yesterday, I felt really comfortable, and he just said it was textbook. I kind of did everything I was supposed to do, and I won.
Textbook, but it's book against book right now, because Kira with the notebook, the death note, and I feel like it's cheating for Kira. in this situation, because he's only got to write one name in every single time. He can just do it one at a time.
That's why he's so good at 1v1s.
I know, right? That's why he's so good at 1v1s. But this is actually the most important 1v1 so far. I mean,
Yes.
all of them are important, but this, if Kira wins this and gets to the next stage, the hopes of the CIS squad getting to Los Angeles for All-Star is already sealed when they get to the finals. If Kira wins this whole tournament, they get to that LA All-Star event.
Important to note, it has to be the whole
Yes,
tournament.
the whole tournament.
It can't just be this round. This is effectively a
very
quarterfinal.
true.
But yes, he has to win everything here.
This situation has to be produced to some Hollywood movie because it's intense. We're following Kira. Maybe we'll see some 15 HP down there. It's sick. I am excited.
Well, Kindred O got the first 2 bans for ChuZ's. Brand Quinn actually the bans for Kira. And we talked to ChuZ's yesterday after his 1v1 win. He said, I've been preparing some stuff. I've got more. It's not just Brand Caitlyn.
Okay, interesting. I mean, this is the Quinn with the reduced vision when it comes to queuing people. So it's not aerial assault anymore. It's back to blinding.
Yep.
It's not the same blind. 523 Quinn changes. Lots of Quinn changes.
Well, Lucian Lulu there as well. Kira just goes for the Caitlyn. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, yes. I want to see it.
ChuZ has to know he's playing Caitlyn.
I mean, surely.
Like Kira's game yesterday, you heard the analyst desk talk about it at the top of the block, like, just amazing mirror against BRTT. ChuZ is a known Z player.
Yep.
Yamada's been on the Z train.
I'm on the Z train. I'm
no.
right there with you.
Please no rise.
Oh no.
This is actually, for the most important 1v1 so far, if we have a Nunu Caitlyn matchup, where Caitlyn just farms, Nunu just farms. Ooh.
Cassiopeia. Another trademark champion for ChuZ. Not quite his Z, but he is strong on it.
But here's the thing, Cassiopeia loves the enemy that tries to approach. Caitlyn doesn't want to approach. She just sits as far back as possible and just auto-attacks you down.
I'm kind of hoping that ChuZ here goes for the flash instead of the ignite or the exhaust. Because, sure, I can agree with the ignite because it's all about the all-in on top of this Caitlyn. But the flash is so important for that.
Yeah.
For that mechanic you were mentioning
have
earlier.
to close the distance. You have to against the Caitlyn if you want to try and all-in her.
And a Q, it's a little bit easier. You can try and slow him, but I agree. It's going to be tricky. Kind of hard to get to Rylos and really chase people down on the 1v1 map. So
there we go. It has been changed right at the end.
But actually, really good summon is on both sides to talk about. I believe Hero has Flash Cleanse or Exhaust Cleanse?
Exhaust Cleanse.
Okay. Not too much mobility, like just the net really.
I'm trying to think
and some
it
traps
through.
to help with the spacing.
I love the cleanse instead of the ignite because what you want to do with Caitlyn is never actually all-in. You want to play the sustain game, so the cleanse can get you out of those all-in situations.
Well, we'll have to see how it works out. Kira, same skin as yesterday. Slightly different summoner spells. Didn't go for the barrier this time. See, ChuZ does have that flash, so you have to expect he wants to be aggressive. You've seen Cassio's also get to the CS mark as well, so Cassio, quite a strong 1v1 champion that we sort of saw in the middle of the tournament, but it's a big match for Kira, and ChuZ, of course, nothing left to win now but this 1v1 tournament potentially, so here in Melbourne playing in front of the home crowd.
And to shut down the chances of the CIS. To, you know, make that 5v5 that even more important for CIS. You know, if they've spent everything on the 1v1s at this point, and they haven't, it's just like, let's roll the dice on Kira. We got this, guys.
Well, I think they trust him as a strong player because he's had a great tournament, both 5v5 and 1v1. And again, his Caitlyn yesterday was nothing short of spectacular, but ChuZ, again, had to know was coming into this matchup. We saw Ejim's answer to the Caitlyn was almost the AD Leona, but he's gone for Cassio here. See how this one works out. Caitlyn is getting the early pressure onto the wave. Cassio not bad at pushing level 1, but it's not Caitlyn. Ooh, nice bit of poison there as well. But
It's
Kira gonna get the early lead here.
Yeah, and Kira once again grasps the Undie as expected. Can proc that very often, so should be pretty healthy here. Not the best of CSing for either player off the first wave. I guess ChuZ still has the opportunity to make up for it.
Ooh, nice juke forward there by Kira. Had the grasp passive ready to go as well.
So much pressure on both players. We have Kira fighting for his whole nation, and ChuZ is doing the same. Carbon fell earlier.
That's true.
It's kind of understandable that it makes him see
level
us
2 will
start.
win! Ooh. No cleanse used by Kira. He is so patient with his summoners. something I've really admired him for when I've seen him play. Good dodge of that Q there as well. Chu's starting to run out of mana too, so he's going to have to chug that biscuit perhaps.
He did have an extra one.
Yes.
That's the key thing about Doran's ring. You get the extra health potion that comes from that. So that does give him a little bit more sustain.
I feel like a key breakpoint for the Cassiopeia is when she reaches 100 stacks, because that is going to give her the sustain, and also after a few bases she has the mana to stay in lane for forever. Then she can compete with the Caitlyn push, so I would watch out for that.
Yep, we saw this actually from Ceros, I believe, as Kira does steal that relic pretty much right as it spawns. Nice play there. But yeah, just using the E. Obviously you don't get the cooldown reset, but you do get a little bit of mana back, I believe.
Yeah,
so you saw Ceros getting that refund a lot when he was playing Cassio.
Oh, ChuZ is getting hit by a number of these built-over Peacemakers right now. You can see Kira very confident. He took that PRTT on this Caitlyn yesterday.
Oh, that juke! So good!
Got the
mind
headshot
games.
after as well. Wow.
Yeah, ChuZ's gonna have to recall by the looks of things here. Oh, ooh. He does have the flash, remember, so he can make some big plays, but he's so low on mana. ChuZ hits 4, he has to go home.
Seems like the wave is slightly slow pushing
stayed.
towards Q. Ooh.
Both of them did. Kira got the relic though.
The mind games.
And has Grasp of the Undying. ChuZ, this may be a mistake, both with exhaust.
I think if he gets headshot, he's dead instantly.
Like the scenario that ChuZ wants to avoid is if Caitlyn reaches 6, if they stay for that long, the ult just comes out and
Trying to pretty much zone Caitlyn out here with these Qs, but ChuZ is just a little too low. Kira going to build up such a CS leader, and this tower might even take a beating as well. Health Relic also going to get stolen away. Oh, ChuZ, he wants to go for it! Oh! First blood as Kira reads it like a book.
So smart from Kira, just knowing that the greedy play from ChuZ, he tried it already, staying in lane, waiting for the relic, punishes it a second time. Man, good Caitlyn play.
it felt like a rat coming into like a mouse trap. His head just got chopped off. Tried to go for the cheesy relic. Oh my goodness.
And Kira again continuing to astound and impress with his 1v1 play. We talked about how crucial it was going to be for Kira to, you know, win and effectively win the tournament based on his 1v1 play. One step closer now, gets into the semi-finals basically, taking out ChuZ in the last Oceanic hope in the wildcard tournament.
He's been really impressive, I'm not going to lie. He's taken...
I'm going to say he beats White Lotus.
It's like the big question I want to ask is like, have these players saved something for the end stage of this tournament? Have they like hidden something? Did you just go for the simple AD carry picks, and then in the end, all the fun champions come out, like the Zed, like the Jav and the Spawn was talking about? I'm excited for these picks.
I agree.
Yeah, I want to see some Maokai. I want to see Maokai, I want to see Zijao, I want to see another Leona. Like, we need to see all of the cheese. I actually thought that ChuZ was going to bust out some cheese, but then went Cassiopeia. He was thinking of the idea of the Nunu, and even the Zed into Caitlyn, which I thought was genius, but didn't go for it. Udyr is going to be a ban from White Lotus. He must know something we don't. I don't see how Udyr is good in the 1v1.
I think that's a trick question. He's actually not. But that is going to be banned away with the Riven, which is actually very good, and Seiya, phenomenal Riven player.
Yeah, that makes sense. Graves, Annie as well. Those first two bans are throwing me through a loop, but Annie will be the next ban coming out. That does make some sense. Have seen some Annie so far. Not to too much success. Has been eliminated by Cassiopeia so far. In Aurelia will be the final ban from White Lotus.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Seiya,
goodness.
you're going to need to calm down, mate.
Is it a secret message hidden in the bands?
Oh, this feels like it's a predetermined thing. These guys, they're both Latin American, and one of them's going to go into the final. So they've sat down in the background. They said, you know what? Let's have an Ezreal off.
I like it. It's so raw in terms of mechanic. Who hits the most Qs? It is that simple. But then again, it's like, it just man against man. It's like a boxing match.
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly. This is like the Reigns Lee Sin matchup where it's all down to those raw mechanics. Can you talk me through a little about like how you think this matchup is going to go? What tools do they have, Yamato, in this 1v1 between Ezreals?
I feel like the level 1 is going to be so important, even before the minion spawn. Who's going to get pressure in the bush? Who's going to land those Qs on the hidden targets in the bush? Because whoever reaches level 2 is going to go for the E-in and go for the all-in right away.
Exactly. We saw that even in the Japanese game in the 5 versus 5. Ceros playing Ezreal in the mid lane. The level 2 is super strong. So I agree with Yamato. It's entirely about control of the minion waves on that first wave. Get level 2 first. and actually control it, and you should win.
Yeah, I mean, while we've seen that control over the level 2, getting level 2 and then pushing your opponent out, what we haven't seen yet is both go for the level 2 and then just go for the all-in immediately and then try and get that kill. And I feel like we could actually see that here with these two Ezreal players because they will be fighting tooth and nail over that level 2.
Yeah, they definitely shall be. There is a small difference that we will probably see from these guys. Stylistically, of course, the only things that they have different are going to be runes and masteries, and it's going to be very curious to see what route they take with those.
Yeah, further battle could be good. What else are we looking at? Even Thunderlords could be good.
Congrats to
the
the
Undying.
Undying.
Yeah, applies on Q.
Really good.
Call that the Ceros special.
Oh, both Qs have missed so far.
You belong in a museum.
Neither of
Thank
them
you.
are saying it. I'm surprised. Maybe the animation is too long. Locks you in and then you get queued.
This is just... Is it the skill matchup when they're just laughing at each other? I feel like whoever taunts the best will get the first Q.
Well, I wonder if the taunt animation is longer than the laugh animation, so it locks you in.
Yeah, it might.
I'm a little surprised White Lotus didn't just queue the minions there, just so he can get the... Because it's down to these autos. Look at both these players. They're autoing as fast as they can. They're not missing a beat, so they can kill these minions as fast as possible.
Yeah, they definitely are. It's, again, as we mentioned, going to be about control of the levels. Who can actually get control of the minions, but not push into the turret. That's the delicate feature of this 1 versus 1, because if it goes to the turret, they're just going to reset it one more time.
Okay, White Lotus pushing up here.
So on top of that, the White Lotus just has to kill 1 minion to get, of course, the level 2. But as long as Seiya stays within the minion wave, the all-in is very hard to do. It just needs to hug those minions and make use of them because they work as towers.
Yeah, White Lotus is trying to get in range, has of course skilled up the Arcane Shift, but of course if you are near those minions, then the homing bolt will just hit a minion instead and not going to hit your desired target.
There is going to be a lot of skill shots hitting and missing in this one, and it entirely comes down to who hits the most, I guess. Hit rate, and White Lotus, the first to be over-aggressive.
Very important to note the relic timing here, right? So White Lotus needs to keep pushing. I think he should just keep firing the Q into the wave, maintain his passive so he can push as fast as possible because the relic is coming up.
Yeah, very soon. He's going to be pushing this back line. Gets the level 3 over Seiya. Looks like he's going to be pushing into the turret. The relic will be spawning very shortly.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's pushing forwards. Both of them have Arcane Shift. Seiya's already sitting on top of it.
Actually hugging it.
I would have liked to have seen some more aggression from White Lotus because the minion wave isn't even in the perfect position for him.
Yeah, very interesting to note as well that White Lotus didn't go for the W approach here. He's put 2 levels into his Q to try and push the minions, seemingly.
Is that even worth though? Because Seiya's gone for the W and is literally harassing White Lotus over the minions. And in a matchup like this, where you can only land the Qs if you sidestep between the minions, it's very difficult. But White Lotus goes back to base. Hasn't put a point yet in
What is
W.
that minion doing?
It's rebelling.
Doesn't care, man.
He wants peace.
Angsty teenage minion.
Oh, he's gonna die now. There we go. Another CS in the bank for Seiya. White Lotus went back to base, by the way, and picked up a Darn Shield, plus the health potion, and doesn't have biscuits, so he hasn't gone down the middle mastery tree at all. No cunning.
No, I would assume 18 into the offense tree.
Yeah.
Has the ferocity.
Yeah.
Okay, Seiya's gone further a battle. I can see that.
Stylistic differences as well. They've agreed to the skill matchup, evidently. But again, the only things they can change are their personal preference of masteries and, to a degree, runes, but they are very similar in runes. So we'll see if the actual mastery differences...
Both further.
Yeah, both further. There you go.
I feel like putting the point in W is very important because it allows you to maintain all the stacks and all these things that are stacking up for you.
Does that mean White Lotus is in Resolve, going for the block mastery to reduce damage taken?
Probably.
He's got that with the Doran's Shield. I actually like that a lot against an Ezreal.
Okay, we'll see what Seiya does in return. Double Doran's Blade. And White Lotus has the extra cloth armor as well. So I actually think White Lotus and the Prolonged Trade both level at the same level, now hitting level 5. White Lotus might come out on top.
My concern is this is literally going to come down to the last minion wave when they're both at about 95 CS.
Yeah.
And they're both just going to freak out and all in somehow.
I feel like this is going to be very interesting as soon as we see some bananas flying all over the place.
Yes.
That's very true.
For reference, that's level 6, not Soraka's.
Yeah, White Lotus. A little surprised. Like, okay, I thought that maybe one of them would put more points in W, because there is a fun trick you can do with Ezreal where you send out the W and then you Arcane Shift into the W, so you give it yourself attack speed. I actually do want to see in a 1v1 if both these players employ that.
It's like theoretically, if both players play it correct, Qs should never land. So theoretically, W in a perfect scenario is better.
Yeah.
But I think both of them want to send a message to their teammates. I'm better than you.
Well, so far we have seen a bunch of Qs landing, mainly from Seiya.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Exactly right, but of course level 6 is about to happen.
Oh, that was nice from White Lotus. Gets to level 6 before Seiya goes for the all-in. Hasn't personally some. Just yet didn't need to. That was actually really nice from White Lotus. A little bit of restraint there, just getting the advantage. But now Seiya has level 6, but he needs to respond in a big way.
He should realistically ult this wave, use that banana you were mentioning, and consider recalling and shopping, just so he can get his next item.
For sure, for sure. I think he has a significant item advantage simply because he went for the Doran's Blade instead of the shield. I think it provides him with more sustenance because both of them are just bashing the wave all the time.
What do you think in terms of item builds here that the players will be going for? Is a Hex Drink even worth it because of the magic damage you get from Azure's abilities? Are we looking at a Sheen for more aggression?
I think Sheen is a perfect choice. We see both players have like a massive mana problem. It solves that, and on top of that, it makes your Q hurt a lot more.
It's not worth going for any kind of tier stacking ability. So anything that gives flat mana, you would generally prefer. And Sheen's the only real offensive choice that you would go for above all else. You could consider a Glacial Shroud if you're going to be a super cheese like Yamato was yesterday.
Cheese wins games.
It does.
It's all about the message, man.
Do I need to stand in the middle of you two? Do I need to separate you guys? I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. I'm quite short.
We hugged it out. We hugged it out.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Residual salt lies there, though.
All right, let's just a couple minutes here. Seiya is gradually edging ahead in terms of CS. The ultimate doesn't land on Seiya.
Just a push.
Yeah, so is he going to go back here?
Should just base.
He's getting some chunk damage on the tower.
I understand the concern from White Lotus, though. He's falling behind in minions by a fair bit. If he recalls and gets another wave behind, Seiya does have the sustained advantage that you mentioned with that second Doran's. He could end up falling at risk to losing to farm.
Well, both of them have enough gold for Sheen if they wanted to go back right now. I just wonder if White Lotus has something else in mind.
Seiya also has the banana advantage.
Yeah.
Use it. That's the question.
It's true, but it has to be in an all-in, and White Lotus isn't currently in kill range. And I feel like you kind of have to, if you're not planning on all-ing in, you have to match the opposing banana, because then there's a big window when you use it where White Lotus will have his up.
It's also the fact that if you don't use the banana for anything, simply because they seem to be avoiding the all-in at all costs, the more bananas you throw out because the Q reduces the cooldown of it, the more efficient it becomes.
Banana Fairy.
No, I agree. I was just really distracted because in the middle of your point, all I can hear is this the whole time. It's like boom headshot in the current Caitlyn patch.
Oh, going in. Seiya has his ultimate, remember. He needs to land it. The exhaust is coming up. Gets it with the auto. Doesn't even need the banana.
Stone Cold.
Potassium overload.
Seiya, the man that we did coin as the favorite potentially to win this, we did say he was the dark horse, has now placed himself into the final. Out Ezrealing.
Playing that, great. Secondly, you look at the Turkish squad. Their chances of making it to LA now rest on Seiya's shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, all of Turkey is sending LATAM their energy, trying to channel it because it's up to Seiya now.
Definitely, and you mentioned that little bit of luck. It'll come down to that. It is a best of 3. It has to happen just a couple of times. But Kira, he's just incredibly in the zone. He didn't need any shenanigans, controlled from start to the end. I really feel like he's going to do it.
Yeah, I just see him make so few mistakes when he plays.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. Like, again, we even saw it when I was casting the 1v1s. It's just like every juke's on point, every little mechanic. He knows the health relic timing. Like, he just got everything.
That previous fight, though, or the previous game, the Lucian Cassio, I was a little nervous because I think he was riding the edge of aggression. He had such a massive CS lead. If it were me, I would have backed off and I would have taken the Yamato approach, just gone for the farm, play it safe, you know, chicken style and play for the safe objective. But Kira was looking for the kill. He does have that death note. He's writing the names one by one, as Stress alluded to. And it worked out, but I think that's the one way I do see him losing is over-aggression.
Over-aggression, but he's definitely in the zone now. It's all on the line for Kira versus Seiya, so casters take it away.
Thanks, guys, and it all comes down to this for Kira. This is such a big deal for him, his team, and also his pride. He wants to take that #1 to series the best mid laner, and he's going up against arguably the other best mid laner, Seiya.
Well, the best mid laner who's also an AD carry main turned mid, turning AD carry. So this guy definitely can match what Kira can do in terms of champion pool. It's all going to come down to execution and in a best of 3, how the meta changes.
I feel like the road for both players have been very, very different. If I look at Kira, his consistency and his composure throughout the games that he has played always goes for the Lucian, always goes for the Caitlyn. I feel like this is the right approach if you want to win and not have fun.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Yamato. I'm going to have to split you guys up. But yeah, Kira, consistent, only picked those 2 champions. So if I'm Seiya, I would ban both of those straight up. Yep. Even though I have played some of those champions myself, I think you just take away the Lucian, take away the Caitlyn, see what else Kira has in his back pocket.
And we've seen how good Kira is in even matchups. So Caitlyn versus Caitlyn, 2 AD carries. So it's definitely worth banning both Lucian and Kate to avoid them completely. Seiya, sure, he can play them as well, but do you want to take the risk of going in a matchup where Kira feels comfortable, even when it's the same?
Maybe. It's so interesting, because as you mentioned, Seiya, AD carry turned mid laner, turned AD carry, has the synergy with those AD carry picks, versus Kira, who's been consistent all the way through the tournament, whereas Seiya has not been.
You like that
Caitlyn
ban?
will be the ban, the Twitch ban against Seiya. Arguably a game he shouldn't have won.
For sure. I remember I think it was against the Draven. The Draven
yes.
took 2 turret shots and an all-in. And I remember Seiya's interview after the game was, he had a plan where he all-ins at level 1 and then nothing.
Yep, literally that was what he said. I didn't know how I was going to win that game, and then I just kind of did. But Urgot is the final ban coming out here. And then Lulu will be coming out as the second one from Seiya.
That means Lucian is slow.
To go. Lucian, yeah, that's a big one. We could see a Lucian mirror if he doesn't ban it here.
I think he should ban it here. It's very important. Or just not. There, okay.
Okay, well, Kira, it's instant locking Lucian.
But the advantage Seiya has now, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Okay. Do you guys know of any counters to Lucian that would decimate him in the 1v1?
I want the Zed to come out.
Maokai.
I agree with
Xin Zhao.
Zed is so perfect, can last sit under the towers very easily, can queue the minions up until his level 6, and at level 6, with 2 offensive summoners, can just get in there and get dirty. Bard. Bard is pretty sick too.
Could be good. I'd like a Bard or a Zed.
I'm always going to say Garen with Mark. Like, I stand by that.
Would that work against Lucian? Because he'd dash away from you as soon as he sees it.
Or you could level 6. Hello.
Malzahar locked in. Is this going to be AP or AD?
I would have to say AP. If he gets to a later stage, you could consider like a Last Whisper type of build, given the itemization doesn't have brutalizers now. Could go for Dirk.
I feel like AD is the correct choice, because before the minions spawn, he can just Q, get his passive going, and as soon as the wave hits, he can push very efficiently.
The question then is always going to be the level 6 all-in though. Being an AD Malzahar, you don't do as much damage. You're reliant on mana and cooldown, which you generally don't get from your items.
Fingers crossed for Doran's Blades. That's what I'm saying.
I want to see an AD Malzahar. So Kira, first item QSS, is that what we're looking at?
Probably, actually, yeah. It's a Malzahar.
If you can't cleanse it.
If he doesn't win at level 6 and there's a QSS, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah.
I think the key part behind going AD Malzahar and why it's particularly good in the 1v1 is the fact that you have mixed damage.
Yes.
It doesn't allow AD carries to buy that Hex Drinker that we've seen time and time again winning games. I don't think we've ever seen anyone with a Hex Drinker actually lose.
And that's the best part about a QSS buy. If Seiya forces Kira into going that, it's a lot of wasted stats besides the magic resistance. You need it for the active to get out of a Malzahar ultimate. But if he's going AD as well, then that's not actually the biggest problem. It's always going to be those Voidlings.
You can't itemize really efficiently against hybrid Mals, because you're going to be dealing the magic damage regardless from his abilities. Kira pushes up, gets the ward down. Seiya, as you guys mentioned, will be charging up the Q, and now has the Voidling ready. So the Voidling is going to go to town on this minion wave, or even Kira if Seiya gets in range for a level 1 all-in.
So cheesy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't care. I'm gonna stop.
We could just step away and just get Yamato take it away and have the karaoke cast.
Oh man. All right. So Seiya, he's probably going to take a very passive approach until he can stack up some Voidlings. I would imagine he almost has to go tier out of all champions.
I actually don't dislike tier in this one. I think that's fine. Gives you extra mana just for those rotations. You probably want cooldown reduction as well, because you can get multiple Voidlings out in one rotation.
The Voidling, though, gives him another CS.
Yeah.
Gonna have 7 of them after the first wave.
So there's actually a very delicate intricacy behind playing AD Malzahar, where you need to let your Voidling grow into a big, dangerous one before you actually engage, because then its damage just goes through the roof.
Seiya is getting melted, and the grass with the Undying. Kira just absolutely destroyed him in that level 1.
Strangely enough, Seiya has opted in for the Deathfire's touch. While I do agree it has some synergy with his kind of
He's close
space
to dead
debuff.
already.
Seiya's getting bodied.
The Malzahar has merit. He still has summoners available, but the barrier and exhaust from Kira are both very defensive, and he's already pushing Seiya pretty much out of lane, which means, again, the first recall from Kira is probably going to be a Negatron click with a Doran shield. He's going to go defensive and farm to 100. He's playing this very legit.
Yeah, and landing the Qs. Kira is landing everything. He's played this flawlessly so far. Hasn't put a point in W, because it does negative damage. Maybe that's why it didn't interrupt the recall, because it just literally does so little damage.
It heals them.
Yeah. And Kira secures the relic as well. Seiya, okay, he's waiting for the minions to grow. There we go. Voidling is out. Whew. This could almost be a kill here if Kira had gone Ignite. Seiya would be dead.
Yeah, that actually would have been. This is actually really bad. A lot of minions are about to crash onto the turret.
Oh, the level disadvantage. Seiya is level 2. Kira's on level 4. He's in between the turrets. He doesn't give anything
A single team mode.
to Malzahar.
Yeah, he doesn't give a single Voidling. And this tower's already down to below half health. Gonna be 1/3 by the time Kira backs off. And Seiya now comes back in.
Thankfully, this is a best of 3.
Yeah,
So
this would have been worst
learn very
final.
quickly where he goes wrong. Playing Malzahar.
What do you guys think? Are you guys expecting the Lucian ban?
Yes.
I know I am.
We were expecting it before this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta ban the Lucian, gotta ban the Caitlyn. You have to force Kira onto something that's untested in this live environment, because he would have had something behind closed doors, but we've seen how proficient he is with both of those champions. You just can't let them have them.
Yeah.
Kira
yeah.
still hasn't come back.
Yeah, exactly. Kira's actually just very content where he is at the moment. I would imagine, again, it'll be that Null Magic Mantle with a Doran Shield, but he's playing this so legit, even taking all of the relics.
Oh, here's the minion out as well, and the Voidling. Seiya now popping level 4. Guess the auto
mana.
attack in. But yeah, Kira's out of mana, that is one big thing. Seiya just have his Ignite, however, and forces Seiya to use one in return, double tap. He's taking a lot of damage from the minions though.
How's the barrier?
Yeah.
Barrier and Ignite are both there, but of course the mana waning on both champions. I think the minion stack's actually the biggest deal. Kira has to recall, he just wasted that Q.
Yeah, he's playing with fire.
I feel like Kira's approach, simply because he's playing against a hybrid champion, funnily enough, I feel like he should just itemize into HP. Health is efficient against both schools of damage, so I feel like just going for the Giant's build after the Doran's item is the correct choice.
That was actually fantastic. Me and Rusty just both looked at each other. The Q coming out to interrupt the recall. Seiya's now out of mana. Kira has enough for a Q.
So what also just sparked in my mind as well is the Voidlings destroy turrets. If you can get a level 3, like a 3rd stack Voidling, and it can hit a turret when Kira's not there, it'll legitimately take it in a single wave.
Yes, he absolutely could. Kira taking away this minion wave. The window for him to go back is so small now.
Yeah.
That is the lovely mechanic of the 1v1. One simple mistake to take it all back. Like 2 minutes ago, we thought it was completely over.
Now Seiya has a chance. Level 6 now by Kira.
Needs to get the relic.
Yeah, it doesn't have the mana, and that was actually got RNG there by the E, the Malefic Visions from Seiya. This is incredibly tense. Seiya, okay, uses the E, will get the mana back as it kills these minions. Once again, Malefic onto Kira.
He has
Yeah,
to
he has to go
recall.
back.
This is a window right now. There's no cannon, unfortunately, in this wave, but Seiya can hard push at the very least, get all of the farm, push it to the turret, and if by chance he can get a Voidling going, it would hurt.
What hurt there was the minion didn't die to left visions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really big for Seiya. Now he has to go back and doesn't quite get the push he wanted. That was a couple seconds out. Kira now comes back in, looking for the Hex Drinker.
What a comeback from Seiya. To keep in mind that he was level 2 when Kira was level 4.5 at one point. Amazing comeback.
Yeah, both level 6 now. Seiya has the ultimate. His exhaust is at the same time as Kira, so they both got that timer. The Ignite is still up for Seiya, while the Barrier is still up for Kira. And what's just been purchased? Okay, so Doran's Ring, trying to amplify the magic damage, gone for the Cloth Arm as well for the resistances, for the prolonged trade, and the Amp Atonement for the extra damage on abilities.
It's a hybrid Malzahar build then. He's not going all in on that AG, and does realize that the Doran's Ring will help a lot, especially with the E, to get all of his mana back.
Yeah. I kind of would have liked to see like a flat penetration item, because the Voidlings actually benefit from the armor penetration, but Kira's going to do a bunch of damage to Seiya, actually going to burn through these minions first, and has a double tap from the ultimate, of course, and the Grasp of the Undying before the Void comes out, but needs to focus on some of these minions, because he actually was evening up, but Seiya's using a lot of these to turret.
I feel like both players understand what this game is going to become now. It's all about the push. Just throw your abilities onto the wave and make sure you push.
Trying to outpush the Malzahar is a very tough task. Of course, Kira doesn't have the biggest mana pool if he spams it all to push the minions down.
Yeah, then he's not going to have it for the trade, and then Seiya should be better in that 1v1 format. Seiya does have the ultimate though, Kira maybe trying to burn it. Kira's dropping lower mana. This is a little dangerous if he gets all in here.
That has to be the beauty of Malzahar. The fact that he gets mana back when a minion dies.
He could have ulted there.
Yeah.
Debuff.
He should have ulted there.
Would that have been a... Yeah,
just to push him out.
Yeah. With Ignite, that may have been a kill. I think that's kill range.
Keeping in mind exhausts.
Yeah.
What?
Right?
What the?
Every time. He just doesn't want to do it.
I feel like he can do insane damages.
He's got full rotation.
He's trying to out-sustain Kira, but taking so much poke in the process.
Double tap. And see once again.
He's hesitating.
And there it is.
There's no exhaust.
Grasp of the Nether. Kira securing this is a big deal. Has to go for the all-in. Lands the auto attack.
What's the
turnaround? Oh, he gets it. First blood. Seiya forced it into the 1v1 of Kira, and Kira will take the first game.
Kira is a single best of one away now from winning.
The question is now, we have to expect a Caitlyn and a Lucian ban.
Yeah.
Kira
It has to come out.
has to show his entire hand, and hopefully Seiya has something planned for it.
Seriously, he needs something planned. The Malzahar, it was a good strategy. If you think about how it came about, he knew the Lucian was going to be locked in. He said, I can take this down, level 6 all in with the Malzahar. Another problem with that, though, is that you can see their champion before the game starts. You can adapt with your summoner spells, and you can change accordingly. It's exactly what just happened. Barrier and exhaust ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. And also the fact that when it comes to Malzahar, I felt like he had a good plan, as you're saying, but like the level 1, where he just sacrifices Voidling in a way, as you said in the game, he just needs to let it stack up a bit, make it a bit more tanky, like in the end stages of the Voidling's life.
Yeah, and even while he did that and went for the trade just at the end, and maybe that's what he was waiting for to get the Voidling out, but it still wasn't enough. And he knew what the matchup was going to be, because he knew if I don't ban Lucian,
And it goes to show the meta that's developed throughout this tournament, ADs are just the best.
Most definitely. It's just simply the fact that they're able to push and sustain at the same time, have a long-range poke, and their all-ins are also pretty decent. I think that summarizes a decent 1v1 champion.
yeah, and also if you look at the masteries as well that we've generally been seeing in these 1v1s, Grasp of the Undying, further a battle, fantastic on the AD carries looking for those trades. Also Grasp of the Undying on Gangplank as well. Going back to the ChuZ, do you think any of these players are going to have it in the back pocket? We've seen a lot of these final 1v1s go down to very serious picks.
If anyone's going to pull out ChuZ, I think it has to be Kira. He's very good at playing the AD carries, though. That's one thing that we can see the evidence of. Obviously, he's in the semi-finals right now. But in response, on the other side, there's a chance Optimus could pull something out, but he always defaults to AD carries. He doesn't hesitate or flinch. He just locks it in.
Yeah, and Optimus has got to be feeling good after that last win as well. Like, pulling a victory that I don't think any of us really saw coming, and that all-in at the end, one of my highlights of the tournament so far, honestly. So, very excited to see this one. And remember, Kira, this is still a big deal for him. He needs to win this, go into the finals, play that best of 3, because if he wins, then they win the tournament. They go to LA.
Exactly right. It's a very big deal for these guys. And of course, Kira, he's played 2 games on Caitlyn. Hopefully Optimus has noticed that it's kind of a big deal.
Yes.
And might want to take that one off the board.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever someone has played Caitlyn twice in a 1v1 tournament, they're in it to win it.
Yeah.
And for the right reasons, to be fair.
Yeah, the only counter could be Leona, but 0-2 so
Could be,
far.
could be.
Could be. I still have faith in that matchup. Anyway, Aatrox Blitzcrank will be the first 2 bans from Optimus. Kindred and Urgot, definitely some of the meta picks we've seen from this tournament so far.
He's
And
spelling.
Draven
A, B, C.
could.
Easy as KUD.
Oh dear. Caitlyn will be the final ban. Actually legit bans in the end. And thinking about the Cassiopeia, I believe that Lucent is locked in as well. It is. Okay.
I think at this point he should expect the Cassiopeia from Optimus. He has played it in the past. Did a lot of work with it.
I would prefer a Draven, personally.
Well, it's banned currently, so that'd be
Yeah.
quite difficult.
It's unfortunate. He was so good at it. It's actually, he didn't get banned from him last time either, did it? He just
Yeah,
didn't play it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just opted in for the Lucian instead. I feel like Optimus, the one thing that has been subpar from his point of view has been his summoner choice. In the previous game he had Flash and Exhaust on the Lucian, which I felt was the wrong choice. He managed to win anyway. Just pick the right summoners and you will do wonders, Optimus.
Yeah, Optimus this time is currently looking at Flash Exhaust. That will probably change in the next 30 seconds. Players like to do that. Kira has literally stayed on Exhaust Ignite for the entire 1v1 tournament. Has not even flinched or changed on that one. And Kira is looking very serious right now.
Well, it's a very big deal for Kira. Optimus is currently playing Gatekeeper for the Turkish side. So we'll see if he can actually pull out that Cassiopeia. The one time we have seen it succeed is when he had the flash there and basically just flashed for the last hit on the farm to end the game.
So once again, this is a game where Lucian will want to push, Cassiopeia will want to hit those Qs, reach the point where she has 100 stacks and she can win the sustained game.
And Optimus will know better than anyone to avoid the all-in of Lucian, since we saw that against Lulu earlier, even though she was so tanky. And we do have the summoners in. Interesting. So Kira, as I just mentioned, literally hasn't changed from Exhaust Ignite, has now gone for the Cleanse, looks like. Yep, Cleanse. And then Optimus will be sticking with the Exhaust and the Flash. I do kind of like it on Cassiopeia. We didn't really see the full potential of it, because last time it was used to secure minions, but I still feel like in these matchups it can have some value.
Yeah, it's actually the best part about these 1v1s is you lock in your champions and you get time to change those summoner spells. He's gone for the Cleanse once he saw the Cassiopeia, and that is just ridiculously good against the Ultimate and Exhaust. There's nothing Cass can do if the Cleanse is timed right.
Yeah, I actually like it a lot because Kira doesn't need to have to think about the ultimate at all from Optimus. He just reaction pushes that button to get out of the stun and then carries on trading. Instead of just thinking, oh, when is he gonna ult? It literally doesn't matter to Kira.
Something that is very worth mentioning, Kira just played against the Cassiopeia and he was dodging the Qs phenomenally, so he is warmed up for this matchup.
Oh yeah.
That is a very good point. And now on Lucien as well, we'll have the E as to help out in that regard. But fairly long cooldown on that one. We'll be starting with the Light Slinger, has secured the bush as well, so we'll get the first Q on the minion wave. I wonder if Optimus is going to look for harassing Kira or try to push in the minion wave and try and keep even with Kira.
Optimus should look to be aggressive with the Qs. Farming is actually very hard to do on Cassiopeia. Only very good Cass players are adept at doing so because the auto attack animation travels so slow.
Just throwing boogers pretty much.
Yeah.
Very true. Kira's
Can't unsee.
no,
Thank you.
Can't unsee.
Look!
Oh, that's not good. For the rest of my League of Legends career. Oh god. Kira though secures that level 2, dashes forwards, gets out of the way of the Noxious Blast. This is literally what you're talking about, Yamato. Kira, great at dodging them, and also has a champion who can dodge around them inherently.
Of course, with Grasp of the Undying also going to have a lot of sustain, Kira. I honestly don't see many ways, given the summoner spells in the champion matchup, even at level 6, where Optimus can actually come out ahead. I would favor Kira here 100%.
The Cleanse is such a wise choice, simply because you know your enemy is going to want to go for the all-in because of the mage, as of course Seiya talked about on stage. It's all about the cheesy all-in.
All about the cheesy all-in, but right now Optimus can't go for the all-in. He's only just now landed the Q and can never really get in range to secure constant twin fangs. Kira has also secured control of the bush. Optimus does hold onto his trinket, which is a big deal if he does go for the all-in, because he needs to see Kira if he goes for the Vision Duke. Kira secures the relic, putting in damage onto Optimus. Not sure if that was worth. Goes for the double tap. Out of range of turret as well.
Definitely not worth for Optimus. He's taking a lot of hurt. Of course, both of these guys running low on mana now, so it's all going to be about minion control, and this is where Kira is still going to reign supreme because he's an AD champion, and Optimus apparently throws boogers out.
Yeah. Booger's not very effective against Lucian. But actually, that traded turret was so sick. Literally just skirting around the tower range. And Kira goes back to his own relic as well, has secured both of them.
Optimus keeps making mistakes when the minions are under the turret of tapping them once before the turret connects. Of course, on this map, you don't do that. You wait for the turret to hit first. And he's missed about 2 or 3 CS because of it.
Optimus was actually doing this in the matchup before as well against Lulu, where he was just kind of messing up the CS. And once again, Kira getting the best of these trades. He still hasn't even popped his potion, by the way. He's still holding onto the biscuit.
It's so important for Optimus to just reach the point where his passive has 100 stacks.
You what, mate?
How? Huh?
I guess the grace period is way longer because it is down to 4 seconds versus 8.
Yeah.
And it's 0.1 seconds on Summoner's Rift, so slightly longer on this map. I still thought that was going to interrupt though.
Yeah, I did as well. Kira, he still has complete control. Keep that in mind. Now it's 30 to 13 in farm, and he forced Optimus to go back. He can basically go recall right now. I'm sure he's got a lot of money.
I'm sure he's going to pick up the Doran's Blade and the Longsword. On the other hand, the thing that we need to watch out for when it comes to Optimus, when he reaches 100 stacks, his sustenance is going to excel big time.
That is a very adaptive Lucian build as well. He's playing defensive. He's actually already set his win condition to farm.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the correct approach. At this point in time, it's not about fun and games. It's all about winning consistently.
The Yamato cannon approach.
Yeah. No fun. Only victory remains. Triple biscuit, yeah. Going for probably the Hex Drinker route as well, already sitting on the little magic. That was super good by Kira, but he did have vision. If that was on reaction, would be more impressed.
I just reminded myself of the video we saw of Kira earlier when he wanted to prove a point about being the best mid lane in the tournament.
Yep.
I feel like winning this 1v1 tournament is a pretty fair statement.
Yeah, pretty big statement indeed, Yamato. And he's almost there, only in the semi-finals right now. If he wins this, he'll be up against Seiya, another mid laner. So I think the story writes itself on that one. Kira trading off with Optimus. Both level 5, the exhaust comes down. Still has the flash on Optimus, but he's out of mana.
The fact that the cleanse is down when they're about to tick level 6, Optimus, if he can get a recall in, he could potentially all in with the flash.
Why did Kira cleanse there? Was it to get out of range of the exhaust?
The exhaust, yeah.
I felt like it was a wrong decision simply because Optimus was out of mana.
Yep.
He didn't have enough to kill Kira at this point in time.
I agree.
Yep. There's yeah, Kira has his ultimate though. Really bad in the trade situation though. Needs to try and get it on Optimus. Outside of that.
Yeah, this is going to come down to if the exhaust connects on Optimus during a trade or if the ultimate from Optimus, the Petrifying Gaze, can catch Kira by surprise. But it's only during this window where the cleanse is down.
Yeah. So Kira basically just needs to play this safe. Like as long as he pushes the in.
That.
Great ultimate. The E as well. That was actually some pretty good chunk damage. One tower shot. It's actually okay for the trade.
Of course, Optimus is about to tick towards that next level of his passive where he gets the spell vamp and the sustain does increase exponentially.
Yeah, Kira backing off here. He has a large CS advantage, so he can play the farm game if he wants to. Kira very low on mana, so does not want to go for a trade or be caught in one. Optimus has his flash here. Kira needs to be very
opportunity.
careful.
Level 7 though.
Yeah. As soon as Kira turns his face towards Optimus, we may see just a reaction ultimate. But while Optimus was trying to look for the trade, the minions were being chunked down. He's got no mana now. Goes for the relic, gets it. Kira still getting so much chunk damage onto Optimus. Optimus has to leave. He's got to go back.
Yeah, he had to recall before that trade even happened. He's starting to lose very heavily in minions. It's now 60 about to tick over for Kira, and trading just then, forcing yourself back, it's just wasting time where the cleanse is not available.
I agree with the mindset though of Optimus, because he was looking for the ultimate as soon as Kira turns towards him, but it was just that he focused so much on that, Kira was just like, okay, I'm going to shoot you until you find your opportunity.
It feels like Optimus has identified the problem that he doesn't have enough mana to kill Kira, so he goes for the Tear of the Goddess. But then again, Tear of the Goddess is something that slowly stacks on a map like this.
Why not Catalyst?
Not too sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah, guys, why would you not go Catalyst or even Chalice, like over Tear?
Sure, there's a price difference, but I feel like the Mana Crystal and the boots is a fine buy as well.
Yeah, actually I would just leave it at the Mana Crystal, yeah.
Yeah, because we've seen multiple people go for tier now, and they didn't quite get it. But still, here's a mana regen, so that's what it says on the tin. Kira has the Hex Drinker now. It's going to pay off if we get into a trade. Cleanse is only 1/4 cooldown remaining, so Optimus's window is closing.
Oh, he missed it.
That is huge for this matchup.
47 to 72 as well.
This is actually crushing.
I felt like the big window was when Kira was out of mana, was level 6, but Optimus just pushed for the all-in at the time when Kira reached level 7. And now with the Hex Drinker in play, I don't feel like Optimus can take this anymore.
No, 20 CS remaining until Kira just nets the win on farm alone. Optimus, I don't think his ultimate is going to be up in time. And now the cleanse is coming off cooldown.
Yeah, this
I don't know what
dangerous.
you do, and I think the tower's just going to actually die. He could literally just go all in on this tower. Oh, Exhaust comes out, Optimus is going to shove him away. This could be Optimus's window though.
Chance.
Will he do it?
Cleanse.
2 games in a row. Kira, does he have his dash? He gets towards it. The Phantom is out. Oh, but the exhaust in return. Kira now trading off. He just needs to back away.
Oof. Very, very close stuff. A very good exhaust from Kira. The cleanse is available, and Optimus doesn't even have his ult, so I don't actually know if it's going to do anything. 81 CS though to 50, and the turret is super low. All Kira needs to do is force Optimus back once, and the game is over.
Kira can back whenever he wants. Sorry, Yamato, go ahead.
He still has the Hex Drinker proc. That is what we have to watch out for. I think that is the big reason why Kira is deciding to stay here, because Optimus, even though he has the tier, 400 mana, it is not enough to kill a Thorn and Shield Hex Drinker Lucian.
You can just auto-push, honestly.
Yeah, he can auto push, he can go for farm, he can go for tower. Optimus looking for the trade, lands a Twin Fangs. Trying to get in range, the poison has one off and needs to land on the one. Optimus now out of mana. Kira looking for the kill, taking a bunch of damage from these minions though. Kira playing with fire. I think he can just play this safe.
No summoners available for Optimus, so Kira does have to recall, you would imagine. And this is still his game to lose.
Yeah. Like, how do you win now as Optimus? Like, those 2 opportunities where he looked for the all-ins, he just simply didn't have enough damage, or his mana just let him down.
He dives. That's all there's left to do.
But last time I said he couldn't win, he pulled out a victory against Lulu with
true.
1 million health. So I feel like Optimus still has a chance in this game. If anyone's going to do it, it will be him.
I feel like it's a question if Kira can handle the pressure, because at this point I feel like he can smell the victory.
How low is that tower, by the way? Can he just walk up and tap it?
200.
A little bit risky, yeah, unless minions in there. But Optimus needs to get in lane like really quickly, because if Kira lands a double tap and the tower's gone.
If this pushes Optimus away, it's very smart of Optimus to not let them get to the turret.
Yeah, he actually had to tank the killing, because if he didn't, the tower's going to die.
Has the sustain we've been talking about, has the mana as well, can just put down the poison on the wave and keep Eing to get the HP back.
Optimus has ult, Kira has cleanse. This is the opportunity, he'll have to ult now. Oh, doesn't get the stun off, and Kira turns around and we'll just blast him with the double pistols.
Optimus has to win this trade. He has to go back in.
He needs to land the Q. As soon as he lands the Q, he has to just go all in on Kira. Doesn't have the flash, so Kira with the E, if he just
4
disengages... This is the time, he lands the Q.
This is such a...
Doesn't get the miasma, Kira turns around, looks for the trade. Has to back
He
off,
has no
Optimus
choice.
has to go for the E. I think that went on cooldown. Q comes in. 2 CS remaining. Kira doesn't get that one. The Hex Drinker has been popped. Exhaust
can
up for
just last
Optimus.
hit. Oh my god, he
that
missed the
minion,
cannon.
2
So
more.
tense. Kira with the dual
Goes in for the double
Berettas.
tap, the exhaust comes out, has
That's
been
it.
cleansed out. Oh, 100 CS. Kira, he's in the grand finals.
Kira is a man with a strategy, that's for sure. He set his win condition at 30 CS, and that's what he went for.
Double Berettas, putting all them whole in minion sweaters. Pretty good. 100 CS. I love that. As the further we get into this 1v1 tournament, the more we see the consistent strategies.
That was intense.
The players are coming with a plan. Stick to the plan, and it makes sense.
Yeah, but then you can screw up the plan if you just go cheese on the other side. And Seiya, this is a better 3 now. So both players, we need to see if they have anything else in their back pockets and whether Kira's been holding anything back.
2 mid laners, but they're both playing AD carries. It's going to be very...
Not prone to have a plan B. As he said in the interview after the Twitch game where he just tried to all in on level 1. then luckily worked out for him.
Yeah. Kira just doesn't want to deal with it, though. He doesn't
on,
want to deal
Seiya.
with Kindred either. Thinking hard. Lulu leaves the Lucian
This
open.
guy.
There comes the Urgot. What have you got in store? You have to have something. Because he knows what it's going to be. He knows the matchup.
So surprised Kira locked in Lucian. Never seen him play that champion yet.
Seiya doesn't look
complete
too
curveball.
excited. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like a kind of person right now, as a person that has a plan.
Yeah.
The face palm.
The ultimate counter to Lucian has to be Braum, right? Because if he throws out the culling,
Yeah. No.
of course, you don't have a win condition, you
let's
just
take
block
it-
the culling.
yeah.
Let's take it a step further. Which other champion has a wall? Yasuo. Bam.
Not Karma, apparently.
No, Karma. Well, you will be in range for a lot of your abilities. You should be able to get the tether out. The only big deal is the E, where Lucian will just like jump away out of the tether.
We have seen Karma before. We saw Dumbledore play it. One of the mistakes he did, though, was the fact that he didn't opt in to push the wave at level 1 with his Mantra Q. So I'm hoping Seiya watched that game and learned from that mistake.
Yeah.
That game was actually very intense, and we were literally saying how it literally just went down to whether you mantra the W, whether you mantra the Q. And that final trade, if he landed the 2 more auto attacks, that would have been game.
He also threw the Q out just while exhausted. It ended literally like 0.2 of a second afterwards. So close matchup, of course. Kira immediately changing summoner spells the second we went into game to barrier one more time.
Barrier, Exhaust will be the summoners for Kira, and it's definitely in his mindset. Yes, he's picking up these kills, but he's keeping all of his options open, which I like. Like Kira, you see him adapt from different win conditions as the game goes on. Like it's like, oh, I can pick up a kill here.
Yeah.
Actually, this didn't work out. Now I'm going for farm. Now I'm going for turret. It's so smart.
Because once again, I feel like the Hex Drinker, when the thing that Kira wants to do in this particular match is just reach the Hex Drinker. If he reaches that point, he should be able to see the game. But before that, Karma can push, Karma can pressure.
Exactly right. Of course, what we're looking for from Seiya in this game is probably going to be a level 3 all-in. That is when Karma is ridiculous.
Kira gets so much damage out the Q in return from Seiya. There's the grasp of the Undying.
Cool.
And they will both go back because minions are not spawning for a little while.
I guess Kira just stamping authority on the map at the moment, showing that he does more damage at level 1 than Seiya. He might actually repeat that with the minions.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Kira because, like, had they bumped heads a little bit later, then they would have been forced to be locked into those lanes, so Kira would have the advantage. So we're back to a level playing field.
There's something that is very interesting with just Karma is the fact how her passive works. If she auto-attacks champions or minions, the cooldown on Mantra goes down. So it's very important for him to just throw it out instantly and try to rotate it as much as possible for maximum efficiency.
Grasp of the Undying from Seiya as well, by the way. So both players running that mastery. So they should be trading back and forth. There you go. Health literally exchange, so they should neutralize each other. Kira clears this one out. And 1v1s are so much about adapting from game to game and adapting in-game. That's really what makes such a good player. And if you're consistent at doing that, that's what brings you to consistency.
Kira's going to get level 2 again. He's going to pressure the lane out one more time. He's going to grow a CS advantage, and he's going to find another win condition for himself. Time and again, all he does is win at level 1 as Lucian. You need to ban this champion away from him, so he has to change strategy.
I feel like once again we see this Karma mistake where he held on to the Mantra Q. He has to fire it before the melee minions die. He did it after the melee minions died, and it allows the Lucian to go past the mini wave and just zone Seiya off the wave.
Honestly, he should have recalled just there, Seiya. To be perfectly honest, he's getting closer to that level 3 spike in items, even if it was just another potion that he bought. Because once you get level 3, you can effectively trade with Kira. You do have an Ignite over the barrier, so if you time the trade correctly, you would come out ahead.
Kira takes these minions. Once again, Seiya's going to find it very difficult to CS into this tower. Manages to get that cannon. Kira literally just getting all that damage that he can on the tower. The tether lands. And Ease skirting once again outside of the turret range and again gets ahead in these trades.
Kira is on point. With these Lucian dashes and even the Qs, he's hitting everything. Of course, watch the mana pool. Another issue that we have seen recurring from Kira.
But he still has his Biscuit. So caught in the trade, he's going to get the extra instant boost of HP. And while 20 doesn't seem like a lot, in a 1v1 scenario where we saw people literally run away with less than that, everything counts in these 1v1s. We're also seeing a lot of players take the Feast Mastery out of Ferocity. Once again, Seiya is getting chunked by Kira.
I mean, 20 is not a lot, but it's also 1/5 of the way to a win, and he's well and truly ahead of Seiya. Seiya's struggling. Again, with both games that we have watched from him, the second the minions get to the lane, he just seems to lose and fall on the back foot. We'll see if he can turn it around again this time and actually come out ahead.
Yeah, actually something I want to start tracking also in Kira's 5v5 games is when he just starts winning the lanes at level 1.
Yeah.
He's done that consistently in these 1v1s, and that's always given her the advantage, and we've always had to see the opponent play on the back foot. I've never seen Kira be behind and have to catch up.
It's every time. It's simply so hard to last hit these minions under the tower. It also allows the enemy to sustain off his HP when he's hitting the minion wave, and it's also eventually you're going to hit.
So many peaceful minions today. Of course, you don't make him angry, he starts hitting you again.
Goes for the tail, that's Manchud, I believe. Yeah, gets the health back. This is evening up because Karma has so much sustain, but Kira is just straight up winning on the CS. Seiya,
Not bad.
yeah, it was an okay trade, but he's focusing so much on these trades and completely foregoing the minions.
And it's actually okay. If you're focusing on the trades, now you're starting to get levels on Karma. You do have a lot of sustain if you use that mantra W. The problem then is if you're focusing on sustain and you're still losing in farm, you're losing damage as well because you're using mantra on the sustain.
We're also starting to reach that kind of break point where Kira can just base and buy a full Hex Drinker. And after that point, I cannot imagine a Karma, who is inherently a poke champion. She's not going to be able to one-shot this Lucian throughout this.
Here they go. Auto attack trades.
Oh, the timing as well, getting a... Did that just spawn on top of him?
To the second. Kira is literally playing this game impeccably.
That was insane. And Kira, with that advantage, has a little bit extra mana now. Seiya has to be extremely careful. If he takes one more Q and a double tap, he could go
Mantra's
very
up.
low. Mantra's up. He has to land a Mantra Q to even this lane up.
He's most likely going to mantra the W one more time, get that extra health back if he's going to all in. But the minion stack that is there right now needs to be respected.
I don't think Seiya's got the mana, really. He just used one on Resolve. And Kira... As you mentioned, Yamato, like, I don't think I've seen a player lose with Hex Drinker yet. Like, the Hex Drinker as an AD into an AP matchup in a 1v1 seems so strong.
It is just so cost efficient. It's like the mindset is the fact that you invest into something that is only good in one scenario.
Oh, Tether broken. That was Mantrud as well, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Mantrud. As not good. Seiya completely out of mana. Kira, literally, I looked at Yamato, looked back, and Kira has this huge health lead. Interrupts the recall. What can Seiya do?
Well, he has to sit here and take it at the moment. Kira doesn't even need to recall because they're both sitting on a reasonably low amount of health. Of course, that relic might be a complete godsend for Seiya. Kira will get his in response, and this next trade is vital.
Kira doesn't even need to base, he can just keep pushing. There's no threat of the all-in from the Karma.
Yeah, even without Hex Drinker, like, I don't think Kira is in kill range for Karma. The Karma just doesn't have the damage. Also, if he just dances within his minions, he's not going to get hit by the Q. And there you go. Once again, the Q not landing, Kira can respond with damage. He knows the cooldowns of Seiya.
He was aiming for minions on purpose there. He wants to push Kira out so that he can get a recall in himself, because all of this repeated trades with no mana is favoring Kira because the tower's getting low, the minions are starting to stack up. But he's struggling now to push it actually to the turret. I think after this wave, he'll recall.
And just to bounce off your point, it perfectly highlights why you should go for the Doran's Blade in the start, why these AD champions are favored. Because even though all these champions have to be in multiple scenarios of the game, the AD physical basic attack still does something.
Good damage.
Yeah, very good damage. And despite how much we're saying how far Kira is ahead, Seiya's still playing extremely well to hold up to Kira in these games.
So this is where the sustain actually starts to favor the Karma. Of course, Kira does have the freedom to recall at any time he would like. This is the dangerous point that Yamato mentioned.
There's the minion wave gone, goes for the relic, denies that one, goes back to base. Okay, 2,000 gold almost on both players, actually slightly more.
I don't know if we've ever seen a recall with this much money.
No, that was, I mean, like, we're almost up to 70 CS for Kira before his first back. That's more than, like, most
Haunting
of Summer's Rift.
Ooh, I do not like the Haunting, guys.
Why?
Very cost inefficient against an obvious Hex Drinker buy.
Yeah.
I was thinking we're just going for the mana region, going for some kind of CDR, maybe Fiendish Codex,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
just
say.
try to play the poke game, because that is the way he will win this.
I don't think he's got time. Like, there's 30 CS remaining. Like, I think he can play the sustainer game against that. Kira throws out the culling. And, Seiya's just identified he has to go for a big trade. He has the poke and then get Kira to kill range and just hope he can get in range and land the tether.
Yep, completely right. Kira is going to take damage from Seiya. The problem is always going to be that Hex Drinker active, and Seiya's damage is still respectable, but of course I agree, I don't think that Haunting Guys is the right idea. We'll see a trade here.
Tether, that's not mantra'd. Kira lands the Q, trading off. Good trade for Seiya. Returns, and gets another Lightslinger as well. That was so good until that last Q from Kira.
Kira is also sitting on a bunch of biscuits. The relic spawns.
Oh, and Seiya
That's
gets
a lot
it.
of health back.
The tether, there we go. That was 124 every time that W procced there from Seiya. Evening this matchup right back up. Kira does not have a lot of mana left.
Very important for Kira to just push out now, because the relic on the other side is going to spawn very, very soon. If Seiya gets that one, he might be in a better position.
He can't push though, because Seiya's level 9. The wave clear right now is one auto attack with the Q.
Yeah, Q fully maxed out from Seiya. Kira needs that level 9 so he can match it with his own. He's that piercing light. Seiya is just standing there. There's the mantra, there's the W once again, lands the Q, pokes Kira down. The magic resist you can see is helping out for Kira. But I just don't see how Seiya, I still don't see how he kills him. Like, Hex Drinker is just so much, and the barrier.
Well, it's hitting the point where Seiya has no choice. Like, he actually has to kill him soon. 88 minions.
90.
90.
Like, we're getting once again to that point where we're in game 1, where Kira just can go for minions.
It's also important to highlight the reason Seiya has been winning these all-in trades is the fact that Kira has had his ultimate on cooldown. If Kira gets his base off, gets his mana back, Seiya won't be able to run into him like this. Imagine a Cole right here. Bang, bang.
Also, the relic, I would imagine, is starting to get a little bit closer.
There it is.
That is good by Kira. If Seiya took that, there was a chance that he could have killed him. Now it's just 5 minions.
Yeah. Kira can win on minions or he can win on kills. Lands the Q
The
once
filet
again on
mignons.
Seiya. This is brutal. He's going to go back
Has
to
to
the
all
relic.
in.
He has to go in. He has to go in now. Now is the
You
last chance for
literally have
Seiya.
to go right now.
Go!
One more minion goes in. Kira, he can
exhaust
probably
him.
just focus on the minions,
go, go.
but the exhaust come out, looking for the barrier.
He's hitting
And
the
Seiya,
minion.
He just doesn't have the damage. He just goes
He's
to him
gone.
instead.
He's done.
Seiya just goes for the recall. And Kira styles on him. 2-0 in the finals. 50 points over to his squad.
Makes a very, very valid point. Once again, back to that video that we saw of Kira when he wanted to come to this tournament and prove a point. Winning the 1v1 tournament, I don't think there's anything else that proves this point any better.
Exactly right. He's ran the